Hey guys, Phylaris here with the Lilia Jungle Clear Guide for patch 12.7. Now, this video is going to be a bit special. Normally my clears are intended for use by anyone, but this clear is really only targeted at high ELO players. It has very specific transitions, and your camps will reset if you mess up. However, it is completely reliable if you get the method down. Now, the reason you consider a Raptor start on Lilia is because she has very weak gank potential prior to level 6, and in higher ELO brackets, you usually don't expect to get much done after your first clear. Opening with Raptors into Krugs will cause them to respawn sooner, allowing you to take them again before resetting and reliably base on a higher gold total to purchase items like Sork Boots or Blasting Wand plus Dark Seal. This transition from Krugs to Red is the really special one. There are very few champions that are capable of double camping Krugs into Red. Doing so saves you an entire Q rotation, which amounts to 6 seconds of time saved. The timing for this transition is obviously very difficult, so in the second half of this video, I'll do a detailed breakdown of the process. Now, I want to stress again that I don't really recommend this path for lower ELO players. It's very difficult, and it's not always a good path. If, for example, you actually have the ability to full clear into Crab, steal enemy Krugs, and then gank the enemy side lane, it could actually be bad to have your Raptors and Krugs respawn earlier. Because you're not arriving on spawn, it opens up an earlier window where they can be stolen by the enemy jungler. And in low ELO games, it's much easier to find this gank or invade potential after your full clear, because enemy laners and junglers tend to play suboptimally. But in high ELO and competitive play, where enemy laners typically play a lot more respectful around your potential gank timers, certain farm champions like Lilia benefit a lot from being able to reliably base on around 1200 to 1300 gold. Now for the clear breakdown. For starters, I do recommend taking double adaptive shards to make the transitions easier, though it's not required. Lilia has received numerous AP ratio buffs over the course of the season, so double adaptive is just really effective now. Open with a Q auto onto Raptors. Kite out, but then stand still until just a little bit before your second Q. This will keep the Raptors in place, allowing you to easily hit them all with your sweet spot. It's very difficult if they're all moving around. Finish off the Raptors with a third Q, and then head down to the Krugs. Open on Krugs with a W into Q auto and smite. Now be very careful here. Do not get tempted to kite the Krugs out of the pit. You want them in about this position when the big Krug splits. Otherwise, the medium Krugs will sometimes spawn in a position that makes it very hard to hit both of them with your Q sweet spot without exiting patience range momentarily. You cannot lose any patience at Krugs or they will reset once you try the double camp with Red. Q the medium Krugs, and stand still splitting autos onto each medium. Do not auto more than I show here. You don't want either of the Krugs to split early, or the little Krugs that spawn from it will reset first. As you use your next Q on medium Krugs, begin to kite up towards Red. Do not kite out of patience range too early, or the Krugs will reset before burning down. After your Q, run up and auto W the red buff, then finish the Krugs off with a double camp Q. I know this all sounds very specific, and that's because it is. If you fuck anything up, the Krugs will reset. But hopefully this shows that the process is controllable, so if you practice it, there won't be any issues. I can repeat this 10 out of 10 times. The rest of the clear is really straightforward, and follows the same pattern as a typical Lilia clear. You just have to learn how strong her passive burn is, so you know when you can leave each camp. I finished this clear at about 308 with both smites used, but you can definitely just save your second smite for Crab. You'll still reach it on spawn. However, you do drop pretty low in the double camp if you don't smite, so don't be scared to use it if you need to. You would typically head from the double camp over to Crab, toss a quick transition gank through mid, and then arrive back at Raptors and Krugs on spawn. You'll generally have around 1300 gold on recall, even more if you take Futures Market. With her recent buffs, I'm hoping Lilia regained some popularity, and that this clear will help some of you find more consistent success on her. Thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe. And as always, a big thank you to my Patreon supporters for helping to make this channel possible.